Opening scene establishes the Galactic Coalition's desperate last stand against the Krath Dominion in the Epsilon sector. Admiral Helen Price of the Coalition flagship Valiant Dawn watches as the defensive line crumbles under the overwhelming firepower of 60 Krath dreadnoughts. Coalition forces from 12 different species have been fighting for 3 months, losing ground daily. The Krath, a reptilian empire known for their scorched earth tactics, have already glassed 4 colony worlds in this sector alone. Captain Vincent Hayes commands the Coalition cruiser Meridian's Edge on the front lines. His crew includes Tactical Officer Lieutenant Karen Shaw, who reports that their shields are down to 30%. Engineering Chief Danny Pierce struggles to keep the weapons online as Krath plasma torpedoes tear through their hull. Hayes receives evacuation orders from Admiral Price. The Coalition is preparing to abandon the sector entirely. Introduce Lieutenant Sophie Grant aboard the dying frigate Silver Arrow. She witnesses 3 Coalition destroyers vaporized in simultaneous Krath strikes. Her captain lies dead on the bridge. The Silver Arrow is adrift, engines destroyed, as Krath fighters swarm toward them for the kill. Grant takes command and orders all hands to escape pods, staying behind to transmit final tactical data to the fleet. The Krath fleet commander, Overlord Thexnar, believes victory is absolute. He orders his forces to pursue the retreating Coalition ships and show no mercy. His tactical display shows the Coalition formation breaking apart. Thexnar has studied human military history. He knows this species talks of honor but runs when facing true power. He prepares to glass the nearby human colony of New Portland, home to 2 million civilians. Admiral Price aboard the Valiant Dawn makes the hardest decision of her career. She orders a general retreat, knowing millions will die. Her communications officer, Lieutenant Craig Morris, receives dozens of distress calls from colony worlds begging for help. Price has only 18 functional warships left from an original fleet of 70. She calculates they have 4 hours before the Krath Vanguard reaches New Portland. Suddenly, a new contact appears on long-range sensors. Craig Morris reports a single ship emerging from slipstream at the edge of the system. The transponder identifies it as the USS Blackstar, registry TERDEF-1. Price has never heard of this vessel. It's not in any Coalition database. The ship's configuration is unlike any human vessel she's seen. Where Coalition ships favor modular designs and energy weapons, the Blackstar appears as a matte black wedge bristling with weapon ports. Captain Vincent Hayes receives the same sensor data. Karen Shaw analyzes the newcomer and reports readings that make no sense. The Blackstar's power signature exceeds that of a Coalition dreadnought, yet the ship is only 2/3 the size. Shaw detects no conventional reactor. The energy source appears to be something entirely new. Hayes tries to establish communication. The Blackstar's commander, Captain Ryan Foster, responds on an encrypted military channel. He informs the Coalition fleet to hold position. His calm voice carries absolute certainty as he states his ship will handle the Krath threat. Admiral Price demands to know his authorization and ship classification. Foster identifies the Blackstar as humanity's first deep black military project, built in complete secrecy at the Titan shipyards over the past 8 years. Foster explains that Earth's military leadership anticipated humanity would face threats beyond conventional warfare capability. The Blackstar represents a paradigm shift in naval architecture, every system designed around a single principle of overwhelming firepower. His crew of 140 includes the best tacticians and weapons specialists Earth could recruit. First Officer Commander Lisa Bennett begins target acquisition protocols. Overlord Thexnar detects the approaching human ship and dismisses it as irrelevant. His sensors show a single vessel against his fleet of 60 dreadnoughts and supporting craft. Thexnar orders a battle group of 10 ships to destroy this foolish human captain while the main fleet continues toward New Portland. He views this as an opportunity to demonstrate Krath superiority. The Blackstar accelerates to attack speed. Ryan Foster gives the order to engage. Weapons Officer Lieutenant Greg Palmer activates the ship's primary armament, a spinal-mounted mass driver that runs the entire length of the hull. This railgun fires depleted uranium penetrators at 15% light speed, each projectile massing 2 tons. Palmer locks onto the lead craft dreadnought. The first shot crosses 300,000 kilometers in seconds. The craft dreadnought's shields, designed to disperse energy weapons, prove useless against kinetic penetrators. The projectile punches through the bow, travels the entire length of the ship, and exits through the engines. The dreadnought breaks apart as secondary explosions consume it. 11 seconds later, Palmer fires again. Admiral Price watches in disbelief as the Blackstar systematically destroys one craft ship after another. Each shot is a kill. There are no misses, no wasted ammunition. Karen Shaw reports that the human ship's targeting computer predicts enemy movements with impossible accuracy. The artificial intelligence system aboard the Blackstar makes thousands of calculations per second, accounting for target acceleration, vector changes, and defensive maneuvers. The craft battle group attempts evasive action. They've never faced kinetic weapons at relativistic speeds. Their tactical doctrine has no counter. Commander Lisa Bennett coordinates the Blackstar's defensive systems while Foster maintains attack runs. Point defense turrets shooting tungsten fléchettes shred incoming craft fighters. The Blackstar's armor, layered ceramic composites over titanium carbon weave, shrugs off plasma fire that would melt coalition hulls. Overlord Thexnar realizes the single human ship has destroyed his entire advance group. 16 vessels gone in 4 minutes. He orders the main fleet to converge on this threat, committing all forces. Thexnar accesses his species' military archives, searching for any reference to weapons like these. The Krath have conquered 40 star systems. They fought the fierce Venix swarm fleets, the crystalline armadas of Solex Prime. None wielded such devastating firepower. Captain Foster analyzes the tactical situation. His tactical officer, Lieutenant Amy Richardson, reports the entire Krath fleet is moving to engage. Foster orders the deployment of the Blackstar's secondary weapon systems. Missile bays open along the hull, launching hunter-killer drones equipped with fusion warheads. Each drone carries an AI guidance system that makes them nearly impossible to intercept. The drones scatter across the battlefield, seeking targets. They're too small and fast for Krath point defense. 12 drones reach their targets simultaneously. Fusion warheads detonate in proximity to Krath engine sections, crippling ships rather than destroying them outright. Foster's strategy becomes clear: render the enemy immobile, then systematically eliminate them. Lieutenant Sophie Grant, still aboard the dying Silver Arrow, watches the impossible battle unfold. Her sensors show the Blackstar moving through the Krath formation like a predator among prey. The human ship executes maneuvers that should tear any vessel apart: 10G turns, sudden vector reversals. Grant realizes the crew must be using inertial dampening technology far beyond anything the Coalition possesses. Danny Pierce aboard the Meridian's Edge receives new orders from Admiral Price. All Coalition ships are to provide targeting data to the Blackstar. The human vessel's computer can process inputs from dozens of sources simultaneously. Pierce establishes a data link and watches as the Blackstar's targeting solutions improve even further. The ship begins firing on targets not yet visible to Coalition sensors. The Blackstar's engineering chief, Lieutenant Paul Hendricks, monitors the reactor output. The ship uses a controlled antimatter reaction, technology that exists in theory, but Earth wasn't supposed to have operational. Hendricks manages the power distribution as weapons, shields, and drives demand enormous energy. The reactor runs at 70% capacity with room to spare. Overlord Thexnar orders his ships to concentrate fire. 40 Krath dreadnoughts target the Blackstar simultaneously. The volume of plasma fire should vaporize any ship. Foster anticipates this and activates the Blackstar's experimental shielding, a multi-layered electromagnetic barrier that deflects particle beams and disperses plasma. The shields glow white-hot but hold. Ryan Foster authorizes use of the Blackstar's classified tertiary weapons, Electromagnetic pulse generators discharge across wide areas, frying craft computer systems. Ships lose navigation, weapons control, life support. The craft fleet, so disciplined moments ago, descends into chaos. Foster exploits this, ordering Greg Palmer to target command ships first. Admiral Helen Price realizes she's witnessing a revolution in warfare. The Blackstar operates on principles that render conventional naval combat obsolete. She records everything, knowing Earth's military will want detailed analysis. Price orders the Coalition fleet to begin rescue operations, collecting escape pods from destroyed Coalition ships, while the Blackstar holds the craft's attention. The battle enters its second hour. The Blackstar has destroyed 38 craft vessels and disabled another 15. The ship's ammunition reserves remain at 60%. Foster planned for an extended engagement. Commander Lisa Bennett reports minor damage to the port maneuvering thrusters but nothing critical. The crew executes their duties with mechanical precision, trained for exactly this scenario. Craft fighters swarm the Blackstar in desperate waves. Lieutenant Amy Richardson coordinates point defense. Automated turrets track hundreds of targets, the AI prioritizing threats. Tungsten flechettes create a killing field around the Blackstar. Fighter wreckage spreads across thousands of kilometers. Not one enemy craft penetrates the defensive perimeter. Overlord Thexnar faces the unthinkable defeat. His fleet is broken. Ship commanders report catastrophic losses, systems failures, crew casualties mounting. Thexnar has one option left. He orders his remaining vessels to ram the human ship. If they cannot defeat it with weapons, they will use mass and velocity. 22 dreadnoughts break formation, engines at maximum, charging directly at the Blackstar. Captain Foster sees the kamikaze run developing. He orders emergency power to engines and maneuvers the Blackstar into a position where the craft ships will mask each other's approach angles. Greg Palmer fires the spinal railgun in rapid succession. The weapon's cooling systems push to their limits. Uranium penetrators shred one dreadnought, then another. The debris from destroyed ships creates obstacles for those following. Only 3 craft dreadnoughts survive the approach. They're seconds from impact when Foster activates the Blackstar's experimental close-range defense, a graviton pulse that creates localized space-time distortions. The approaching ships suddenly encounter massive gravitational shear. Hulls buckle and tear. The dreadnoughts break apart before reaching the Blackstar, tumbling past as wreckage. The battlefield falls silent. No craft ships remain functional. Overlord Thexnar floats in an escape pod among the debris of his fleet, watching the black human vessel cruise through the graveyard it created. The battle lasted 1 hour and 47 minutes. 60 craft dreadnoughts and supporting craft destroyed. The Blackstar suffered only cosmetic damage. Admiral Price can barely process what occurred. Karen Shaw provides final casualty reports, 0 Coalition losses during the Blackstar's engagement. The craft offensive is completely destroyed. Price opens a channel to Captain Foster, requesting permission to approach. Foster grants it, and the valiant Dawn limps toward the victorious human ship. Ryan Foster tours his vessel with Lisa Bennett, assessing combat performance. Paul Hendricks reports all systems within normal parameters despite the intense fighting. The crew performed flawlessly, years of classified training paying off. Foster knows this battle will change everything. Humanity kept the Blackstar secret specifically for a moment like this, when the galaxy needed proof of Earth's true capabilities. Lieutenant Sophie Grant is rescued from the Silver Arrow by a Coalition recovery ship. She can't stop thinking about what she witnessed. Grant has served in the Coalition fleet for 6 years, studied naval tactics at the Academy, believed she understood modern warfare. The Blackstar rewrote every assumption. She wonders what else humanity has been hiding. Admiral Price boards the Blackstar through the main airlock. Captain Foster greets her personally, along with his senior staff. Price walks through corridors that hum with barely contained power. The ship feels different from Coalition vessels, colder, more focused, purpose-built for destruction. Foster takes her to the bridge, where displays show tactical analyses of the completed battle. Foster explains the Blackstar program to Price. After humanity joined the Galactic Coalition, Earth's military leadership studied the various threats across known space. They concluded that human innovation, applied with sufficient resources and secrecy, could create weapons superior to anything currently deployed. The Blackstar cost more than Earth's entire conventional fleet combined. Price asks the obvious question, why reveal the ship now? Foster explains that Earth's strategists predicted exactly this scenario. The craft dominion would eventually threaten coalition territory, conventional forces would fail, and humanity would need to demonstrate its value as a military power. The timing is calculated. Earth wants a seat at the leadership table, and the Blackstar is humanity's application. The Krath Empire receives reports of the disaster in Epsilon Sector. Their Supreme Council debates the implications. Humanity, previously viewed as a minor species, recent coalition members with limited territory, just destroyed an entire battle fleet using a single ship. The Krath begin reassessing their strategic position. They cannot continue expansion if humans can deploy such weapons. Vincent Hayes aboard the Meridian's Edge receives new orders. The coalition is organizing a counter-offensive, and every ship is needed. But the mood has changed. Crew members who faced certain death hours ago now speak of victory. Hayes overhears Danny Pierce telling junior officers that humanity's arrival in the coalition might be the turning point in the war against the Krath. Craig Morris transmits the battle footage to Coalition High Command. The response is immediate. Species representatives from across Coalition space demand meetings with Earth's ambassadors. Some express gratitude for humanity's intervention. Others voice concern about the secret weapons development. A few ask the uncomfortable question, if Earth could build one Blackstar, how many more exist? Lieutenant Greg Palmer downloads combat data from the railgun systems. He writes a report for the weapons development team back at Titan shipyards. The main gun performed beyond specifications. Palmer recommends minor adjustments to the cooling cycle, but otherwise declares the system combat-proven. He feels pride in his role. Every shot he fired saved Coalition lives. Ryan Foster stands on the Blackstar's bridge, looking at the debris field filling his view screen. This moment was inevitable from the day they laid the ship's keel. Earth couldn't remain a minor Coalition partner forever. The galaxy runs on power, and humanity just demonstrated it in the most primal way possible. Foster knows they've started something that will reshape galactic politics. The Coalition fleet begins recovery operations. Thousands of escape pods are collected from both destroyed Coalition and Krath ships. Admiral Price orders humane treatment of Krath survivors. She won't allow vengeance killings. The survivors will provide intelligence about Krath military capabilities and perhaps become the foundation for eventual peace negotiations. Back on Earth, the Unified Defense Council receives Foster's after-action report. They authorize the public reveal of the Blackstar program. Within hours, news networks across human space broadcast footage of the battle. Humanity's population erupts in celebration. For years, Earth felt like a junior member of the galactic community. Now, humans everywhere see their species as equal to any in the Coalition. The Blackstar program director, Admiral Nathan Cole, holds a press conference at Geneva. He explains that Earth has 3 additional Blackstar-class vessels under construction. The ships will form humanity's contribution to Coalition defense. Cole carefully avoids mentioning the other black-budget programs, the stealth frigates, the relativistic kill vehicles, the orbital defense platforms using similar technology. Lieutenant Sophie Grant requests transfer to the Blackstar. She submits her application directly to Captain Foster, citing her combat experience and tactical expertise. Grant knows the chances are minimal. Every officer in the Coalition fleet probably wants the same assignment, but she witnessed something extraordinary and wants to be part of it. The Krath Dominion recalls its frontier fleets. Supreme Council members argue about appropriate responses. Some advocate immediate all-out war against humanity before they can deploy more super weapons. Others counsel caution. If one ship could destroy 60 dreadnoughts, what could Earth's full military accomplish? The craft begin peace overtures through neutral intermediaries. Admiral Price compiles her official report on the battle. She writes that the USS Blackstar represents a paradigm shift in naval warfare comparable to the introduction of ironclads or dreadnoughts in Earth's history. Price recommends the coalition establish formal protocols for incorporating human superweapons into joint operations. She also notes the psychological impact. Craft forces may lose their will to fight if they believe every engagement could bring another Blackstar. Captain Foster receives orders to proceed to Coalition headquarters at Vega Prime. The Council of Species wants to meet the Blackstar's crew and discuss integration of human capabilities into Coalition military structure. Foster selects Lisa Bennett, Greg Palmer, and Amy Richardson to accompany him. Paul Hendricks will command the ship during their absence. The journey to Vega Prime takes 3 days. Foster uses the time to prepare his presentation. Earth wants specific concessions in exchange for the Blackstar's service, command positions in Coalition fleets, access to advanced alien technologies, and representation on the Military Strategy Board. Foster's mission extends beyond showing the ship's power. He must negotiate humanity's new status. News of the Blackstar spreads across Coalition space. Species that previously dismissed humans as newcomers now view Earth with respect and wariness. Trade delegations arrive at Earth seeking deals. Some species offer technology exchanges, hoping to learn secrets of human weapons development. Earth's diplomats suddenly find themselves in demand. Lieutenant Karen Shaw analyzes the battle recordings frame by frame. She's writing a tactical manual for Coalition forces on coordinating with Blackstar-class vessels. Shaw identifies key moments where the ship's capabilities enabled new strategic options. Her work will help conventional fleets maximize effectiveness when operating alongside human superweapons. The Blackstar arrives at Vega Prime to full military honors. Coalition warships from a dozen species form an honor guard. Foster brings the ship into orbit and prepares for the diplomatic mission. He changes from combat gear to dress uniform, aware that the coming meetings will shape humanity's role in the galaxy for generations. Admiral Helen Price addresses the Coalition Council. She provides eyewitness testimony of the Blackstar's capabilities and recommends immediate integration of human forces at all levels of command structure. Price argues that Earth's contribution to Coalition security equals that of species who have been members for centuries. Her testimony carries weight. She's a respected officer with no personal stake in human advancement. The Council debates for hours. Some species advocate embracing humanity's military power. Others worry about creating dependence on human weapons. A few suggest attempting to copy Blackstar technology, though Price explains the ship represents decades of focused research. Finally, the Council votes to offer Earth a permanent seat on the Military Strategy Board. Captain Foster negotiates the specific terms. Earth will deploy its Blackstar-class vessels under Coalition authority during major conflicts while maintaining operational independence for smaller engagements. Human officers will receive command positions proportional to Earth's military contribution. Coalition species will share certain technologies with humanity in exchange for access to Earth's weapons research. The Craft Dominion requests a ceasefire. Their ambassador meets with Coalition representatives and proposes negotiations. The Craft acknowledge that continued conflict with an enemy possessing Blackstar-level weaponry would be suicide. They offer territorial concessions and reparations for destroyed colonies. The Coalition cautiously agrees to talks. Back aboard the Blackstar, Paul Hendricks runs system diagnostics. The ship performed well in combat, but Hendricks identifies improvements for the next engagement. He submits recommendations to the design team at Titan: enhanced cooling for the railgun, additional armor around the antimatter containment, upgraded point defense AI. The Blackstar will become even deadlier. Lieutenant Sophie Grant receives notification that her transfer application is being considered. Captain Foster was impressed by her actions during the battle, Staying behind to transmit tactical data showed courage and tactical thinking. Grant allows herself to hope. Serving aboard the Blackstar would mean being at the forefront of humanity's expansion among the stars. Earth's media celebrates the Blackstar as proof of human superiority. Foster watches news broadcasts and feels uncomfortable with the jingoistic tone. The ship was built for defense, not conquest. He worries about Earth becoming arrogant, overestimating their position. The Blackstar is powerful, but humanity is still one species among hundreds in a vast galaxy. Admiral Nathan Cole addresses these concerns in a classified briefing to Earth's leadership. He reminds them that the Blackstar succeeded because the craft weren't prepared for its capabilities. Future enemies will adapt. The ship's advantages, surprise, superior technology, innovative tactics, won't last forever. Earth must continue investing in research and development to maintain its edge. The Coalition organizes a formal ceremony honoring the Blackstar's crew. Captain Foster and his officers receive medals for valor. Foster gives a brief speech emphasizing that the victory belongs to all Coalition species working together. He's careful to position humanity as team players, not saviors. This approach wins favor with Coalition delegates who worried about human arrogance. Vincent Hayes returns to routine patrol duty aboard the Meridian's Edge. His crew is different now. They've seen humanity's true capabilities. Danny Pierce jokes that Earth probably has even more classified weapons waiting in the shadows. Hayes doesn't laugh. He suspects Pierce is right. The Blackstar was revealed because Earth wanted it revealed. What else remains hidden? The peace talks with the craft progress slowly. Both sides test boundaries, probe for advantages. The craft negotiators keep referencing the Blackstar. Clearly, the ship's existence influences every discussion. Coalition diplomats use this leverage carefully, implying Earth could deploy more super weapons if negotiations fail. Captain Ryan Foster prepares the Blackstar for its next assignment. Coalition Command wants the ship patrolling the frontier, demonstrating Earth's commitment to Coalition security. Foster understands the real purpose, psychological warfare. Let potential enemies see the black ship cruising through their territory, a reminder of what happens to those who threaten Coalition space. Lieutenant Greg Palmer trains new crew members on the railgun systems. The Blackstar's fame means transfer requests flooded in from across Coalition space. Palmer accepts only the best officers who understand that the ship's power comes with responsibility. Every shot they fire represents Earth's reputation. Admiral Helen Price returns to her flagship, the Valiant Dawn, with a new perspective on humanity's role in the Coalition. She fought alongside humans before the Blackstar's reveal and respected them as competent allies. Now she understands Earth's potential. Price begins advocating for closer military cooperation between human forces and Coalition fleets. The Craft Dominion signs a preliminary peace agreement. They withdraw from contested territories, pay reparations, and agree to weapons limitations. In exchange, the Coalition promises not to launch offensive operations into Craft space. Everyone understands the unspoken truth. The Blackstar could glass every Craft world if Earth chose. The peace holds because the Craft fear what might come if it doesn't. Earth begins construction on 2 more Blackstar-class vessels at accelerated schedules. The public now knows about the program, so secrecy is unnecessary. Thousands of workers at the Titan shipyards labor around the clock. The new ships will incorporate lessons from the first Blackstar's combat performance. Earth's military leadership plans for a future where humanity fields multiple super weapons. Captain Foster receives a message from Admiral Cole. Earth's government is considering offering the Blackstar technology to select Coalition allies, not the complete specifications, but certain systems that would enhance their defensive capabilities. Cole wants Foster's opinion on the political implications. Foster takes days to formulate his response. Lieutenant Sophie Grant's transfer is approved. She reports to the Blackstar with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Foster welcomes her aboard and assigns her to the tactical department under Amy Richardson. Grant will have to prove herself among the best officers humanity can field. She's determined to meet the challenge. The Blackstar departs Vega Prime for frontier patrol. Foster stands on the bridge as the ship accelerates toward the outer systems. Lisa Bennett reviews the patrol route, a circuit through sectors where the Coalition's presence is minimal. They'll show the flag, reassure colonists, and remind potential threats that Earth is watching. New species begin joining the Coalition, attracted by the security Earth's military provides. The galactic balance of power shifts as smaller civilizations seek Coalition protection. Some analysts credit the Blackstar with creating a new era of stability. Others worry about growing dependence on human weapons technology. Admiral Nathan Cole monitors these developments from Earth. He sees the Blackstar program succeeding beyond initial projections. The ship gave humanity influence proportional to Earth's actual contribution to galactic affairs. But Cole knows maintaining this position requires constant innovation. Earth's rivals are already researching counters to Blackstar-level weapons. Vincent Hayes receives a promotion to captain and command of a new destroyer, the Sentinel. During the ceremony, Admiral Price tells him that officers who served during the Epsilon Sector battle are valued highly. Hayes' experience fighting alongside the Blackstar makes him an ideal instructor for Coalition forces learning to coordinate with human super weapons. The Blackstar encounters a distress call from a mining colony on the frontier. Pirates are attacking, using obsolete but effective weapons against the lightly defended settlement. Foster diverts to assist. The pirates detect the approaching warship and attempt to flee. Greg Palmer fires a single railgun shot across their bow, a warning. The pirates surrender immediately. This incident establishes a pattern. The Blackstar's mere presence deters aggression across the frontier. Pirates, raiders, and opportunistic warlords avoid any system the Black Ship patrols. Foster realizes that showing the ship, letting potential enemies see its power, accomplishes more than fighting. The Blackstar becomes a symbol of overwhelming force. Lieutenant Sophie Grant settles into her role aboard the ship. Amy Richardson proves to be an excellent mentor, teaching Grant the nuances of operating the Blackstar's advanced systems. Grant participates in combat drills and studies recordings of the Epsilon Sector battle. She's determined to match the crew's legendary performance. Back on Earth, the population debates what the Blackstar means for humanity's future. Some view the ship as proof that humans deserve a leadership role in the galaxy. Others worry about militarization and the costs of maintaining such weapons. Political movements form around competing visions of Earth's galactic role. Admiral Helen Price writes a memoir about her experiences during the Krath War. She devotes an entire chapter to the Blackstar's intervention. Price describes watching the ship fight and feeling awe at what humanity had created in secret. Her book becomes a bestseller across Coalition space, shaping how species view Earth's emergence as a military power. The Coalition establishes new protocols for major fleet actions. Any operation facing overwhelming enemy forces can request Blackstar support. Captain Foster participates in planning sessions where Coalition strategists incorporate his ship into battle plans. The Blackstar becomes the tip of the spear, the weapon deployed when conventional forces aren't enough. Paul Hendricks completes his upgrades to the ship's systems. The railgun now fires 20% faster with improved cooling. Point defense coverage expands by adding supplementary turrets. The antimatter reactor runs more efficiently, providing additional power to shields and engines. Hendricks shares these improvements with the design team building the next Blackstar-class vessels. Lieutenant Karen Shaw publishes her tactical manual to widespread acclaim. Coalition fleet officers study her analysis of the Epsilon Sector battle. Shaw identifies specific formations and communication protocols that maximize effectiveness when operating with Blackstar support. Her work becomes required reading at Coalition military academies. The Krath Dominion's leadership changes as hardliners who advocated war with humanity are removed from power. Moderate voices argue for adapting to the new galactic reality where humans possess superior weapons. The Krath begin retooling their military doctrine, acknowledging that the era of conquest through overwhelming numbers has ended. Captain Foster receives intelligence reports about new threats emerging in distant sectors. Pirate cartels are consolidating, attempting to create their own fleets. Some species outside the coalition watch Earth's rise with concern and begin forming defensive alliances. Foster realizes the Blackstar's revelation created ripples that will spread across the galaxy for years. Earth's diplomatic corps expands to meet growing demands. Species previously indifferent to humanity now seek trade agreements, technology exchanges, and military cooperation. Human ambassadors negotiate from positions of strength, knowing the Blackstar backs their words. Earth's economy booms as galactic trade increases. The Blackstar intercepts communications suggesting the Venix, a hostile insectoid species, are planning raids against coalition colonies. Foster takes the ship to the Venix border and conducts visible patrols. The Venix detect the human vessel and recognize the signature from intelligence reports. Their raiding fleets turn back without engaging. Lieutenant Greg Palmer trains backup gunners for the railgun systems. He emphasizes that each shot from the Blackstar represents Earth's power and must be perfect. Palmer's standards are exacting, but necessary. The crew's reputation depends on flawless performance. When the Blackstar fires, enemies must fall. Admiral Nathan Cole addresses Earth's Defense Council about future challenges. He warns that other species will eventually develop weapons to counter the Blackstar. Earth's technological advantage is temporary. Cole advocates for continued investment in research, antimatter propulsion, graviton weapons, quantum computing for tactical systems. Earth must stay ahead of potential rivals. The Blackstar returns to Earth for scheduled maintenance after 6 months of continuous operations. Captain Foster and his crew receive a hero's welcome. Parades are held in major cities. Foster feels uncomfortable with the adulation, but understands its importance. Humanity needs symbols of strength and achievement. During the maintenance period, Foster visits the Titan shipyards where the next Blackstar-class vessels are taking shape. He walks through hulls still under construction, seeing the improvements his combat reports inspired. Foster meets with design teams and shares operational insights. The next generation of ships will be even more formidable. Lieutenant Sophie Grant uses the Earth leave to visit her family. They ask endless questions about serving aboard the famous ship. Grant carefully avoids classified details, but conveys the pride she feels being part of the Blackstar's crew. Her younger siblings look at her with awe, and Grant realizes she's become an inspiration. Admiral Helen Price proposes a joint training program where coalition officers can serve temporary assignments aboard the Blackstar. She argues this will improve coordination and build trust between human and alien forces. Captain Foster supports the idea after reviewing security protocols. The first exchange officers arrive when the ship returns to active duty. The Blackstar departs Earth for a new assignment, escorting a diplomatic mission to the Solex Collective, a powerful but neutral species. Coalition leadership wants to bring the Solex into the alliance, and the Blackstar's presence will demonstrate coalition military strength. Foster understands the real message: join us, or face potential enemies backed by this power. En route, the ship conducts combat drills with the exchange officers present. A Kralix pilot observes the railgun operations. A Deneb engineer studies the antimatter reactor. Both express amazement at human technology. Foster notes their reactions. The Blackstar impresses allies as much as it intimidates enemies. The diplomatic mission succeeds. The Solex, impressed by the Blackstar and coalition unity, agree to an alliance. Their crystal-based technology complements human metallurgy and physics. Trade agreements follow the military pact. Foster reflects that the ship has become a tool of diplomacy as much as war. New intelligence arrives about a species called the Wrath expanding aggressively in a distant sector. They've conquered 3 minor civilizations in 2 years. Coalition observers note similarities to early Krath expansion. Admiral Cole requests the Blackstar be deployed to observe and potentially deter Wrath aggression. Captain Foster takes the ship into Wrath territory on a flag-showing mission. The black vessel cruises through systems the Wrath recently claimed. Foster broadcasts coalition warnings about respecting sovereign territories. Wrath warships shadow the Blackstar but maintain distance. They've heard what happened to the Krath fleet. Lieutenant Amy Richardson analyzes Wrath ship designs. Their vessels use fusion drives and particle beam weapons, conventional technology, well executed. Against coalition forces, the Wrath have overwhelming numbers. Against the Blackstar, their entire fleet would be target practice. Richardson updates the tactical database with Wrath capabilities. The Wrath leadership requests a meeting with Captain Foster. They claim to want peaceful relations with the coalition. Foster agrees to the meeting but keeps the Blackstar at full combat readiness. Lisa Bennett positions the ship to escape quickly if needed. Foster meets the Wrath ambassador aboard a neutral station. The Wrath ambassador studies Foster carefully during their conversation. He asks direct questions about the Blackstar's capabilities and whether Earth has more such vessels. Foster provides carefully calibrated answers, enough to deter aggression, not enough to reveal strategic details. The ambassador leaves convinced that attacking coalition space would be catastrophic. Back aboard the Blackstar, Foster reviews the meeting with his senior staff. Greg Palmer expresses frustration that they can't just eliminate threats preemptively. Foster reminds him that Earth wants to be known for justice, not brutality. The Blackstar's power must be used responsibly, or humanity risks becoming what they fought against. Admiral Nathan Cole receives Foster's report on the Wrath situation. He shares Foster's concerns about Earth's image. The Blackstar program succeeded because humanity demonstrated strength and restraint. Cole instructs all Blackstar commanders, including those on the new vessels nearing completion, that their mission is deterrence, not dominance. The second Blackstar-class vessel, the USS Nightfall, completes its trials. Captain Jennifer Walsh takes command. She's a veteran officer who served aboard the original Blackstar during its shakedown cruise. Walsh leads the Nightfall on patrol through sectors where piracy has increased. The presence of two super weapons dramatically improves coalition security. Lieutenant Sophie Grant receives commendation for her performance during a complex tactical exercise. Amy Richardson notes that Grant has adapted quickly to the Blackstar's systems. Foster considers Grant for promotion to senior tactical officer when the third Blackstar-class vessel launches. Grant's combat experience and quick learning make her an ideal candidate. Earth's economy continues booming as galactic trade expands. Human corporations establish offices on dozens of worlds. Cultural exchange increases. Alien music, art, and literature become popular on Earth, while human entertainment spreads across coalition space. The Blackstar provided security that enabled this cultural flowering. Captain Foster marks 1 year since the Epsilon Sector battle. He stands on the bridge, looking at the same view screen where Krath dreadnoughts once filled his tactical display. Lisa Bennett joins him, and they discuss how much has changed. The galaxy knows Earth's power now. Humanity's challenge is proving worthy of that power. Admiral Helen Price delivers a speech at the Coalition Military Academy about the evolution of warfare. She describes the Blackstar as a culmination of human ingenuity applied to strategic problems. Price emphasizes that technology alone didn't win at Epsilon Sector. Crew training, tactical innovation, and courage determined the outcome. The Blackstar's power multiplied human capability. The Krath Dominion continues adhering to the peace agreement. Their military has shifted to defensive postures. Some Krath have joined coalition forces as liaison officers, providing intelligence about border regions. The transformation from bitter enemies to cautious allies demonstrates the Blackstar's impact on galactic politics. New threats emerge constantly, but the pattern remains consistent. Aggressive species detect the Blackstar-class vessels patrolling coalition space and reconsider their plans. The ships rarely fire in anger. Their reputation precedes them. Foster realizes the greatest victory is the battles never fought because enemies choose peace over facing overwhelming power. Vincent Hayes, now commanding the destroyer Sentinel, coordinates with the Blackstar during a joint operation near the frontier. Hayes watches the black ship maneuver and remembers when he thought coalition forces faced certain defeat. Now, operating with the Blackstar, victory seems assured. Hayes coordinates his ship's sensors with the Blackstar's systems, maximizing their combined effectiveness. Lieutenant Paul Hendricks receives orders to join the crew of the third Blackstar-class vessel, the USS Shadowfall, as chief engineer. He'll oversee installation of systems he helped design during the original Blackstar's upgrades. Hendricks feels pride at being chosen, but will miss Foster's crew. They became family during their time together. The Blackstar intercepts a distress signal from an unknown species. Their colony is under attack by automated war machines from a long-dead civilization. Foster diverts to assist. The ancient weapons prove resistant to conventional fire but can't withstand railgun penetrators. The Blackstar destroys them, saving thousands of lives from a species humanity never encountered before. The rescued species, called the Myern, express amazement at humanity's power. They request coalition membership, citing the Blackstar's intervention as proof of the Alliance's value. Foster facilitates first contact protocols. Another species joins the coalition, and Earth's influence expands further. Admiral Nathan Cole reviews strategic assessments from across coalition space. Every report confirms the Blackstar program's success. Earth's investment in advanced weapons technology paid enormous dividends in security, trade, and political influence. Cole approves funding for a fourth Blackstar-class vessel and authorizes research into next-generation weapons. Captain Foster receives new orders. The Coalition Council wants the Blackstar to conduct a goodwill tour of member species' homeworlds. This diplomatic mission will cement Earth's status as a guardian of galactic peace. Foster accepts the assignment, knowing the crew represents not just Earth's military but humanity's values. The tour takes 3 months. At each stop, Foster and his crew meet with local leadership, conduct joint exercises with planetary defense forces, and demonstrate the Blackstar's capabilities. Species across the coalition see the ship that saved them from the Krath. They welcome humanity as equals and friends. Lieutenant Sophie Grant assists in the diplomatic functions. She learns protocols for interacting with diverse species and discovers she has talent for diplomacy. Foster notices and adds a note to her file. Grant could command her own vessel someday. The Blackstar crew includes several officers likely to captain future human warships. The Goodwill Tour concludes at Vega Prime, Coalition headquarters. Foster addresses the Council of Species about Earth's commitment to galactic security. He pledges that the Blackstar and sister vessels will defend Coalition space against any threat. The Council responds with a standing ovation. Humanity has proven itself. Admiral Helen Price retires from active service after 40 years. Her final act is recommending Vincent Hayes for promotion to Admiral. Price's retirement speech references the Blackstar's intervention at Epsilon Sector as the moment she knew the Coalition would survive and thrive. She credits human innovation with securing the galaxy's future. Captain Ryan Foster reflects on 2 years since the Blackstar's first combat. The ship changed humanity's destiny and reshaped galactic civilization. Earth emerged from obscurity to become a cornerstone of Coalition security. Foster knows future challenges will test them, but humanity proved capable of facing any threat. The story concludes with the Blackstar on routine patrol. Foster sits in the command chair, watching stars drift past on the viewscreen. Lisa Bennett monitors sensors. Greg Palmer maintains the weapons systems. Amy Richardson updates tactical databases. Sophie Grant coordinates with Coalition forces. The crew performs their duties with quiet competence. Somewhere in the dark between stars, threats lurk. Species that resent Coalition power or covet its resources. Pirates seeking plunder. Automated weapons from ancient wars. The galaxy remains dangerous despite humanity's efforts, but the USS Blackstar patrols silent and deadly. When Coalition space faces threats conventional forces cannot defeat, the Black Ship will respond. Its railguns will speak, its missiles will fly, and nothing will survive its fire. The legend of the Blackstar grows with each mission. Children across Coalition space hear stories of the mysterious human ship that saved the galaxy. Some tales exaggerate, claiming the Blackstar destroyed 1,000 enemy vessels or faced entire armadas alone. Foster doesn't correct these stories. Let the myths grow. Fear of the Blackstar keeps enemies at bay. Captain Foster knows the truth behind the legend. The ship is powerful but not invincible. The crew is skilled but not superhuman. Earth's technology advantages are temporary. Future conflicts will test the Blackstar against enemies who have studied its tactics and developed counters. But for now, humanity stands guard. The Blackstar and its sister vessels patrol Coalition space. Earth's investment in military technology secured a future where humans belong among the stars as equals and protectors. When the next great threat emerges, the Blackstar will be ready. Its crew will execute their duties with precision. The railguns will fire, the missiles will launch, and once again, nothing will survive its fire. The final image shows the Blackstar silhouetted against a distant nebula, engines glowing softly as it continues its eternal patrol. Somewhere behind that black hull, Captain Ryan Foster prepares for whatever challenges tomorrow brings, confident that his ship and crew can face any threat the galaxy presents.